welcome here. This is Legal Advisors World. My name is TM Francis, and here we answer your legal questions in the most simplified manner. I'm so excited about this particular episode because it is the beginning of a series on criminal law. And this series is dedicated to my students who made a special request for it. But even if you are not a law student, you are just an individual who is interested in learning about the law, you are going to be able to pick a lot of things. So I want you to join us. I want you to sit tight. I want you to subscribe. I want you to like. I want you to share. I want you to be here because it's going to be a very interesting ride. Without further ado, let's dive into today's video. Criminal law is a very exciting kind of law. Actually, as a manner of introduction, what is crime? A crime is a wrongdoing, an antisocial behavior which the law will punish. It is a wrongdoing, an antisocial behavior committed against the state. That's very important. Please never forget that. A wrongdoing, an antisocial behavior committed against the state and which is punishable by the law. One of the hallmarks of criminal law is punishment. The major consequence of committing a crime is punishment. That's the major consequence. If you commit a crime and you are caught, you will be punished for it. I hope you won't commit a crime, but that's just the truth. That's the fact. The punishment can come in the form of a fine or a term of imprisonment or even death if it's a capital offense that attracts a capital punishment. So the major consequence of committing a crime is punishment. Criminal law is quite different from civil law in a number of ways. I am going to make a short video on that, on the distinguishing characteristics between criminal law and civil law. But for the purpose of this video, let's just state some attributes of criminal law. In criminal procedure, the offense that has been committed is believed to have been committed against the state. So it is the state that prosecutes. So on the charge sheet, you will see something like the parties will be written like the state against Ajanle Koko, who is the accused person or the defendant. So the state against Mr. Ajanle Koko, who is the defendant. The state is the prosecution. Mr. Ajanle Koko is the defendant or the accused person. The prosecution may also be the police. It depends on the offense committed. Yes, and let me put this here right now. If you check the criminal code, there are two statutes that guide criminal law in Nigeria or that contains criminal law in Nigeria. In the South, we use the criminal code. In the North, they use the penal code. So if you go through the criminal code, you will often see the word offense used interchangeably to mean the same thing as crime. Even though in civil law, there's still a way you can say offense and you mean a civil wrong. But if you check the criminal code, anywhere you see the word offense, it is usually used to mean a crime. Yes. So if a crime or an offense has been committed, which is something that is under the jurisdiction of the police, so the party, the prosecution on that charge sheet will be something like Commissioner of Police versus Mr. Ajanle Koko, who is the defendant or the accused person. Yes, so that's a characteristic of criminal law. Another characteristic, a major characteristic of criminal law is that it is codified. Crimes must be codified. It must be written somewhere. You know, this is to ensure that people can ascertain what is crime and what is not a crime, so that to prevent people who commit civil wrongs from being punished like a criminal. Imagine someone who has just committed trespass to property and the person is punished like someone who committed a real crime, committed a crime. That would be wrong. So to be able to distinguish between what is a civil wrong and what is a crime, to ascertain what crimes are codified. Any crime or any offense that is not codified, is not in the criminal code, is not in the penal code, it is not a crime. And if someone is punished for such, that is a miscarriage of justice. So criminal law is codified. That is another kind of attribute. Another attribute of criminal law, before we move into the purpose, because criminal law has its own purposes. There's a reason for criminal law. There's a reason why criminal law exists. But just as a way of distinguishing that, how you can recognize that, okay, this is within the purview of criminal law. When a suspect is charged to court, like I said, by the state, it is also the state now under the office of the Attorney General, maybe the Attorney General of the state or the Attorney General of the Federation, that can decide whether they want to stop the prosecution or not. So it is the Attorney General of the state or the Attorney General of the Federation that can exercise a kind of power which we call nolle prosequi, which means to stop a prosecution. So the complainant, that is the victim of the crime, is not the one in charge, is not the one steering the course of the criminal procedure or the criminal trial. No, the job of the complainant is done. Once he or she goes to the police and makes a report, the police starts the investigation. If it is something they can handle, they charge the accused person to court. If it is something beyond their jurisdiction, even while they maybe even charge him to court first, they must move the file to the Ministry of Justice. So it is at the Ministry of Justice, the Attorney General of the state or the Attorney General of the Federation, under the office of the DPP, they will look at the case. They will, decide whether they want to go ahead and charge the person or not, or whether they want to stop. They do not want to prosecute the person. Whether there is a case, there is a prima facie case, and then they make the decision. The victim or the complainant may be a witness. Most times, the victim or the complainant is just a witness. He or she may be expected to come to court just to witness and then to just be there, but they are not in control of the trial. The state is in control of the trial. The expenses for the trial is borne by the state. The strategies, the decisions are made by the state. That's the Ministry of Justice now. So the complainant can share his wishes or desires, but the goal of criminal law is not to compensate the victim. The goal of criminal law, don't forget, is to punish the offender and to deter other people. We are still going to go into that when I start talking about the purpose of criminal law. But just bear this in mind, that the goal of criminal law, like I said, the hallmark of criminal law is punishment. The consequence, the major reason why criminal law exists is to punish an offender and to stop him or her from doing it again, and to stop other people from committing that offense. So the cost for the trial is borne by the state. The strategies, the decisions are made by the state. If there is a need to stop the prosecution, it is also the decision of the state, not the decision of the victim. When it's a civil matter and then it is the victim suing in a civil court, the victim can decide to withdraw and say, I'm not pressing charge. I'm not suing this person anymore. I want to stop this trial. I want to stop this case. And, the victim or the plaintiff now, when it's in a civil matter, can decide to stop at any time. But it is not so in criminal law. Please bear that in mind. Okay, so with that being said, let's move to the purpose of criminal law, or the reasons why criminal law exists. The first purpose of criminal law is to maintain law and order in the society. Yes, to ensure that there is no chaos, to ensure that there is no breakdown of law and order. Imagine a society where there's breakdown of law and order. You don't want to be in that society. I don't want to be in that society. So the first purpose is to maintain decency, to maintain public order and decency. That's the first one. Another purpose of criminal law is to deter people who are prone to commit to the commission of crime. There are certain people who they just like committing crimes, but a purpose of criminal law is to stop them, to stop people who are prone to curtail, to help them curtail that intention, or that evil that evil notion, to deter at the commission of crime. That is a purpose of criminal law. A third purpose of criminal law, like I have already mentioned when I was giving like an introduction to crime and to criminal law, is that criminal law was established to punish the commission of crimes. Yes, to punish criminals. Let's just put it at that, to punish criminals. But that's not all. Criminal law is now moving to, there's been a shift in recent time from just punishing to also rehabilitating. So the goal of, for example, the Nigerian Correctional Centers, Nigerian Correctional Service, Nigerian prisons, is not only to punish, they are also, while punishing, yes, they are also trying to rehabilitate the inmates and then to make them better people for the society, so that by the time they finish their jail time, they serve their sentence, they are reintegrated into the society. They will be able to behave like good citizens. So they really, like, now even educate them, teach them skills and all of that. But that does not undermine the goal of punishment. So while the person is being punished, maybe by imprisonment, the person is also being rehabilitated. The person is also being improved on as a human being. Mm, Another purpose of criminal law is to ascertain crimes. I said that crimes must be codified, crimes must be written. So another purpose of criminal law is to ascertain crime so that we can know for sure, okay, what is a crime? Is this a crime? Have I committed a crime? God forbid. We won't commit crimes by the grace of God. But to ascertain crimes, that's the purpose of criminal law. And another purpose like it is to ascertain sanctions, penalties for crime. So that when a crime is committed, the judge is not just, sentencing just from like according to his wishes, according to his desires. No. Every offense in the criminal code and in the penal code have sanctions attached to them. So sanctions are ascertainable. So that's another purpose of criminal law, to ascertain penalties. Okay, so if you want to commit rape now, you can ascertain the penalty, life imprisonment. It's there in the criminal code. If you can attempted rape, you can ascertain the penalty, 14 years imprisonment. It's there in the criminal code. So you can even just pick if someone is about to commit a crime, just picking up the criminal code act and just looking through and checking the particular crime they're about to commit and seeing the sanction may be enough to deter them from committing the crime. Yes, so that is. I think we should stop here so that this video won't be too long. I commend you if you are a law student watching this. I commend you to your criminal law textbook. But just as an individual, if you are not even a law student watching this, what is your takeaway from this video? I want your takeaway to be that crimes exist, the law frowns at the commission of crimes, and crimes are punished. Yes, there's punishment for every crime. There's punishment for every crime. And if you are watching me, a crime has been committed against you, maybe in the past or recently, you can get justice. You can get justice. What you need to do is to go to the nearest police station and make a report. Go to the nearest police station and make a report. Under normal circumstances, the expenses of you getting justice is supposed to be borne by the state. So you can just make a report. Don't be shy. Don't keep quiet. Don't don't allow fear to stop you from doing what is right. Because when you report a crime, you are not only getting justice for yourself, you are also protecting others. Which just reminds me of another purpose of criminal law is the protection of lives and properties. Yes. So you are protecting others. You are stopping that person from committing or doing the wrong they did to you from doing it to somebody else. So I wish you the best in everything that you do. I would like to encourage you to subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already. I would like you to like this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I would like you to share, and I would like you to drop your comments and questions in the comment section. I really look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for watching this video. I call you blessed. Bye.